Karens love stirring the pot, some more than others, and for those ones, well, they learn a pretty harsh lesson. Today we've got an hour of just that, so without any more boring commentary, let's get right into it. Getting right into the Karen-ness, first up is quite the disgusting duo. On July 25th, 2015, the Georgia couple Jose Torres and Kayla Norton joined about a dozen other people in a convoy of pickup trucks waving large Confederate flags as they drove around Douglas County. While doing so, Torres and Norton's smaller group from the convoy drove past a black family's party celebrating their child's birthday. The partygoers said that the people in the trucks yelled racial slurs as they passed, and the drivers of Torres and Norton's group parked the trucks near the house and threatened to kill the partygoers while repeatedly using derogatory racial slurs against them. Along with this, victims said that some members of Torres' group were armed with a knife and a tire tool, and it didn't end there.
He the one had to go. He the one had to go. They pulling rifles out on us. 5 trucks of white guys with rebel flags.
Yep, they were flaunting their guns too. According to the district attorney's statement, Torres testified he carried the shotgun because he feared for his friend's safety. I wonder why.
That is not me. That is not me. That's not him. I would never walk up to you and say those words to you, and I'm so sorry that happened to you. You stayed, and you stayed and affected my life, and it affected my children's life.
With the couple in court now regretting their actions, they're both in tears as they are served their sentence. Jose Torres was sentenced to 20 years with 13 years in prison after a jury convicted him on 3 counts of aggravated assault, 1 count of making terrorist threats, and 1 count of violating Georgia's Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. Kayla Norton was sentenced to 15 years with 6 in prison. She was convicted on 1 count of making terrorist threats and 1 count of violation of the Street Gang Act. Moving on, this Karen owns a restaurant that didn't follow COVID-safe guidelines. She continued to willfully violate the state's food laws, public health orders, and the order of the court after multiple warnings, which landed her in the hot seat.
Ma'am, I will address you. If you would like to go out of order, we'll start this 93 days from now. Now, before we proceed, appearances for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Danielle Alice Newcomb on behalf of the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Thank you. Ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I would like to call...
Ma'am, stop. I know you want to control this room, but this isn't Burger King. When the sign changes to Burger King, you can have it your way. Right now, this is my courtroom, and you will answer my questions. Ma'am, stop. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? Yes or no? Are you going to tell the truth? All right, I'll take that as silence. I understand her attorney is on here. Where is her attorney?
He's going to be right now.
Again, say anything again without telling me you're going to tell the truth, and I will hold you in contempt of court for 93 days. Contempt carries with it 93 days and or $7,500. You will not act disrespectful in this court. Do you understand, ma'am? You certainly may remain silent.
Karen here was hit with a $7,500 fine and 93 days in jail for contempt of court. Moving on now, this next clip isn't exactly going to be what you expected. So we're in Clark County Court, Las Vegas, Nevada, where 26-year-old Monica Contreras is to vacate a temporary restraining order filed against her by her ex-husband, and along with her is her 2-year-old daughter. Everything with the case goes as per usual and it only lasts a couple minutes when something strange happens. Courtroom Marshal Ron Fox takes Monica to another room to perform a drug search while her daughter plays with the judge, Patricia Donninger, on the bench. A few minutes go by and Monica is back in the courtroom, but there's a problem. She explains to the other marshal that she wasn't comfortable with the way Marshal Fox conducted the drug search.
What are you allegating that my officer did?
Yeah. He said, can I just have you pull up your shirt and show me that there's no drugs in there? I said, well, I really don't trust you. That's a good idea. I think I'd rather have to. I'm just offended that he asked me to do that.
Listening in as he's still searching her bag, Fox is not happy with what he hears.
Okay, so the story stands. Handcuff her.
Why
We'll bring
would I
her
be
in.
handcuffed? Why would I be arrested?
Hold on.
For what, sir?
Hold on.
Okay, why would I be arrested? Can you please tell me?
Turn around, put your hands behind
Can
your
you
back.
please tell me?
Turn around, put your hands because of false allegations made against a police officer. So.
What?
In Clark County, in this specific context, making false allegations to a police officer wouldn't even be a crime. Big old Ron Fox over here just can't seem to get out of his power trip. And I'll tell you one thing, he is definitely about to regret all of this. As this is going on, the judge turns her back on the situation, and without getting any further info on the charges, she just asks to have the child taken away from the courtroom.
Can we do something with the little
Why would I
kid?
be arrested though?
If you could call up Child Haven for me.
Just like that, from a routine court hearing to being arrested in just a few minutes, along with having her daughter taken away from her, Contreras is confused, to say the least.
Saying
Do
it.
not turn around. I will also add
Why
instructing.
would I be? Okay, stop. What did I do to anyone? Leave me alone, please. Please stop.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
I don't want to press charges. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just wanted to end.
Jimmy, I got court. I still have to do this, so arrest her. I take the kid. We're done.
Why would you
Hey,
do that,
cutie.
sir?
Because you're making
I'm
false
not making
allegations.
false allegations up, sir. Why would you put me in this position? I'm a good person. No, I don't want to deal with this, please. I just want to end it. Okay, it was all lies. It was all lies. It was all lies. It was all lies. Let me go home, please.
So
Why would you be
let's
arresting me
on
right
record,
now?
on tape, in the courtroom.
I
Step
don't.
up to
I
the
just want to
table.
go home, please.
Miss,
I just want to
step
go
to
home,
the
please.
table.
That's what happened.
Right
You
into the microphone.
you put me in the room and you asked me to lift up my shirt without a witness. You asked me to lift up my shirt without a witness.
Contreras now aims her attention at the judge.
How could you do this to me? How could you watch? How could you watch? You asked me to pull up my shirt. Leave me alone. I don't want to go to jail. I'm just trying to defend myself. He said, can you please pull up your shirt without a witness? He said, can you please pull up your shirt without a witness?
You already lied. It's on record.
I didn't lie. I didn't lie.
Contreras is now taken to jail and formally charged with providing false information to a police officer and disturbing the peace. Her daughter is turned over to special services until her father picked her up later that day. This story though does have a happier ending than that. It was just 2 months late. Contreras filed a complaint against Marshal Fox, claiming that in addition to improper protocol, the officer also groped her breast and buttocks in the drug search. This started an investigation with Clark County Internal Affairs, who would validate her claims. She was then awarded $200,000 in a court settlement, and as for the judge and marshals, Fox was fired immediately, and the other marshal was later relieved of his duties. And for Judge Donninger, she was out 2 years later when the courtroom footage went public. At least some justice was served here. Now, chances are you've heard of the iPhone incident that happened with the Soho Karen in 2021. Well, we have new information on this Karen that just came out. If you missed this one, then here's a little recap. Basically, this Karen misplaced her iPhone and decided to accuse the nearest black teenage male of stealing it, and things got hectic.
You don't have to explain nothing to her.
Take the case off. That's mine. Literally, get it back.
Are you kidding me? You feel like there's only one iPhone made in the world?
No. Okay, then show me show me all
No,
my.
you get a life over
Yeah,
there.
no,
What's
go
on your
on.
background? You better go use find my iPhone. Go
Yeah.
do that.
Find my iPhone is on.
Can you
on now.
come in?
Right now.
No, you can't. No,
I'm
you
the
can't.
manager of the hotel.
I don't care.
He will,
This is
right
my
now.
son.
Hey,
Did you see me just come downstairs out of the fucking elevator?
I'm trying to help.
No, but you're not helping.
I
What
am.
you've been is disrespectful.
No, I'm trying to settle the
No.
situation. I'm asking
My
you
son
to-
has nothing to do with her.
No.
I'm trying to figure
yeah,
out what's
but
going
he has
on
my
in the
phone.
lobby.
Then show me the proof. No, he's not leaving. Show me the proof.
Are you
Show me
kidding
the
me?
proof.
You better get on.
I need you.
Let's go,
I
kid.
need you away.
I'm sorry.
Better get on. We have you. What you see two black people?
No, I'm not letting him walk away with my phone.
Better get on somewhere.
No, please get my phone back. I cannot not have my phone.
Karen's outburst of intellect then landed her in front of a judge, charging her with 4 felonies. The felonies being attempted robbery, endangering the welfare of a child, attempted grand larceny, and attempted assault. Now for the new info. Despite the 4 felonies, she wasn't ordered to be held on bail, so she went free and flew back to LA from New York after her court appearance. Now this comes as footage of her October arrest from 2020, the year before the iPhone incident, for DUI was made public.
Can I see your warrant? Where's your warrant? Yeah, give me a warrant. Give me your warrant. Where's your warrant?
I just asked you don't touch me, please and thank you.
I didn't do anything to you.
Ma'am.
I didn't do anything to you, dude.
Ma'am, he's telling you more than 5 times now. You should please listen.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm not. Oh, I remember when Micah was small. I remember how I needed to come out. I'm not even laughing. I'm like, I just think you guys are like a joke. You guys are a joke. There are like gang members that are killing people right now, and you're arresting a girl.
Can you guys believe it? Cops arrest girls too. All jokes aside though, this Karen needs to be put on watch because this isn't even all of it. It's just been discovered that our Soho Karen here is also being investigated now for vandalizing her Airbnb on the same day she was charged for the phone incident. Starting off is a woman called Donna Casal. She's the mother of Amanda Casal, who's a woman who got sentenced for drunk driving. Now Amanda was in her court hearing and Donna was super disrespectful and started to laugh halfway through the hearing. The judge had noticed and paused the hearing to detain Donna Casal, and soon after, her daughter Amanda got sentenced for DUI and murdering someone.
Amanda, look what you did to my life. You ruined everything I had, like my dad's life.
Amanda seems devastated by Doreen's words. But Judge Kiana Lillard apparently hears some snickering from Casal's family sitting in the gallery.
You can go too. Whoever can sit here at a tragic moment like this and laugh and smile when somebody has lost a family member, this is a court of law. You cannot come down to the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice and act any way you want to act.
That's the defendant's mother, Donna Casal.
Because if you don't know how to act, you can go to jail. Ma'am, you are being taken into custody for criminal contempt. Your disruptive and disrespectful behavior disrupted today's proceedings, and you, ma'am, are going to the Wayne County Jail for 93 days for direct criminal contempt. Anybody else want to go? Try it.
She honestly deserved that. Donna then got a court hearing of her own.
And a continuation of the overall pattern of behavior of disrespect. And so I held her in direct criminal contempt because it all occurred in my immediate view while court was in session, for which she's not entitled to any hearing or any representation. She can be immediately jailed for a maximum period of up to 93 days. But I decided that under the stress of the circumstances, perhaps I would give her an opportunity to be heard, so I appointed counsel for her.
She got the same judge that detained her for laughing. That's truly the best karma. However, the judge was really considerate, which is pretty nice of her. So nice that she got Donna to do something that no one expected.
Ms. Coulter, is there something you'd like to say?
Yes, I deeply apologize for what I did. I was under a lot of stress. I'm going through some doctor's appointments today for my heart. It's just everything overwhelmed, and I deeply apologize for what I did in your court. I just needed to get out, and it's been very hard for me this year, and I know for the other family, and I'm so sorry for what I did, and I know it was wrong, and I apologize.
All right.
It looks like prison wasn't kind for Donna. She ended up getting 93 days in with parole because the judge was a little lenient.
I understand that, but I can't just let it go. It's not like I can just let it go. I have to do what's safe for my job as well. I understand that, but that's not up for me. I have to make sure my supervisor is aware of what's going on. I understand.
Absolutely no damage.
I know that, and I explained that to her, but she still wants to come.
Next up, we have Rutgers Newark Chancellor Nancy Cantor. She was the former president of Syracuse University and went viral on YouTube because of her behavior during a minor car accident in March where her car and driver struck another vehicle.
If I miss my airplane, you folks are in trouble.
Okay. She's on her way.
Are you in quarters or are you on the road?
Excuse me.
Hello, how are you?
I'm not well. I'm being held from going to the airport. I missed my plane.
Okay.
You folks are in trouble.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm the chancellor. Chancellor.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, can we get another car? She needs to go to the airport.
No, I don't want that.
Just give me 5 minutes.
Their vehicle has to get to the airport for a flight. Copy that?
Receive, we're getting that
I'd
information.
love to see them do this to President Porch.
Oh, no, they wouldn't.
Can I just have your driver's license and insurance?
He's a Rutgers police!
She's the Chancellor. Indeed she is. And she got attention from the wrong thing. It actually embarrassed her so much so that she made an apology video.
And after watching this video recently, Cantor did issue an apology saying, quote, "I write with heartfelt apologies to you for the way that I reacted to the situation. I realize clearly that I was not my best self that morning. I have great respect for the RUPD and am grateful for the work that our officers do every day."
Up next, we have Adrian Iraola, who was in the middle of sharing a story about racism his children had endured while attending Saline area schools, until a racist male Karen interrupted him and asked a question that not a single person in the room could believe they just heard.
When I went to his bedroom to say goodnight, and he was crying because of the abuse that he was enduring in this school system.
And why did you stay in Mexico?
You need to leave. That is disgusting.
That's indicative of what these kids are experiencing. That's indicative of what our kids are experiencing. Comments like that. And that's, no, he's sharing a story right now, and that's indicative of what our kids are experiencing. So this is the
This is a platform for discussion. That's right. That's right.
You're right. You're right. You got the floor. You got the floor.
Wherever you are.
But no, you got the floor. Hey, you interrupted and take the mic. You interrupted and take.
All right.
Honestly, good for all those people standing up for him. They really did give that male Karen a taste of his own medicine and made him outnumbered, as they should. Now, we have Patricia Cornwall. She got detained after she assaulted another passenger on a Delta flight. Now, what sets Patricia aside from other Karens is the fact that she used to be a former Baywatch actress, so she was already well known to the public. So when this video surfaced, she quickly got famous again for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, put your mask on. Who invited you to come? I'm eating and I can drink your up. Don't you dare talk to me like that. You stand your up. Stand your up. Stand your up.
Sit down, Karen.
Karen?
You're a Karen,
No.
sit down.
Sir.
Sit down, Karen.
Sit down.
Ma'am, do you want the police to meet you on the ground?
What about him?
Mask up. Ma'am.
Mask up.
Put your mask up.
Mask up.
I'm eating and drinking.
Tell him
You
to
got
mask
your
up.
mask down.
Sir. Stop it again.
Now you're going to jail. That's assault. You're going to jail. As soon as we get in Atlanta, you're going to jail. Karen, hey, spit on me.
To go as far as spitting on the guy is just pure crazy. She got escorted off the flight and sent to jail until she got a court hearing.
Now you're double going to jail. Sit down, Karen. Sit down. Look, she punched me.
Put your mask on. Tell him to put his mask on. Put your mask on.
She punched me. She scratched my face. I wanted to fuck out.
Put your mask on. Put your mask on.
Put yours on.
Thank you.
She went crazy on the airplane. Punched this man in the face, spit on him, scratched him, pour hot water on my leg.
She got sentenced to 1 year in prison and also had to pay a massive fine of $100,000. But it doesn't stop there. She also had charges against her in Walton County for driving under the influence. I'm not laughing at it being funny, it's just unreal to me. Some of these Karens, all they need is a year in jail. Daya Gardenhire. The 41-year-old male was in for quite a few murders. He had murdered his girlfriend and daughter, and then a day later did the same to another couple that he kept hostage. You'd think he'd stop there, but he proceeded to disrespect the judge and his late girlfriend in his court hearing.
Charge her with murder because she's the one who did it.
Isaiah,
Everything else, no.
All right, Mr. Gardenhire, this is your warning. The court will mute your microphone if you speak out of turn again.
Your Honor, we would request that Mr. Gardenhire be held without bond, or in the alternative, that bond be set at $2 million cash surety.
All right, thank you. Mr. Barbary, Mr. Gardenhire, I'm going to ask that you behave in a, all right. I'm asking you to behave in a manner that is appropriate for a court proceeding, particularly given the fact that right now I'm considering whether or not to allow your release on bond. If I have any more acting out, sir, we're going to turn off your audio and your video. Go ahead and mute his audio and video. All right, the court has considered the factors found in MCR 6.106 and finds that bond in the amount of $3 million, cash or surety, is appropriate.
This time, the defendant flips the judge the bird, first with one hand, then follows it up with a hearing-ending two-hander.
All right, go ahead and turn his video off, please.
Isaiah was charged with all 4 murders and was sentenced to 50 to 125 years in prison. Soon after this, he was charged with yet another murder that he was on trial for, and his sentence got pushed higher to 75 to 125 years in prison. Now we have Zia Duffy. The 25-year-old appeared in court after being caught fleeing police. Zia was wanted for outstanding warrants and also for pistol whipping someone. He claimed he was a changed man, but decided to cause a scene in court.
I'm not a monster. I'm not a monster. I'm telling you, I was.
Who was driving that car the other day when the police were chasing you?
I was driving.
Well, I don't know anyone in this courtroom that would lead the police on a chase, ram their cars, and put people
I
at
did
risk.
ram their car. That's that case. That's what I'm asking you. Can you not look at the penny cases, please? I haven't even had preliminaries on none of that. I'm asking you, Your Honor, can you reschedule this or something, Your Honor? Please don't say this.
After his meltdown, the judge had this to say in response.
I think I had plenty of time to observe how you would behave after you left prison, and you have not respected the court's orders. I gave you strict orders as to how you were to comport and conduct yourself, and you have not done that, even apart from the allegations about these pending charges. I hung significant prison time over your head, and I made it very clear to you that these would run consecutive, and that you had to follow very specific rules to stay out of prison, because the 8 cases you had in this courtroom showed to me that you were a thug, a potential menace to society. But because of your age and because of the family support you presented, I gave you an opportunity. I gave you more than one opportunity. I gave you more opportunities than maybe I should have, because look at where we're here today. You put people's lives at risk, and I'm not going to allow that to happen anymore under my watch. So you've had your chance to say what you wanted to say, but you should have done better. All right. The court finds that the defendant is in violation of his community control as well as his judicial release, and the court is going to impose the sentences that I promised I would impose if the defendant did not comply with.
He ended up getting 13 years in prison due to repeatedly ending up back in court for doing the same thing. Also, here's a fun fact. The marshal that arrested him is also under investigation for being racist. So the plot could thicken here. You'd think Karens would learn, right? Now we have a man who goes by the name Casey Donovan Williams. Williams was arrested because he had been caught impersonating a police officer and had armed weapons in his vehicle. He's an ex-military man and kept mentioning that a company had sent him to the location he was posted at.
Are you full-time over in Pickway?
I live in Pickway, so, let's see.
74 to 105.
So I left the sheriff's office there. I'm going to, I was full-time there. I left full-time as a jail dep there.
So you're not even a police officer?
Currently, I'm starting a new commission with a village up in Richland County, so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're not even a police officer. You're currently not a full-time or a part-time police officer anywhere?
Reserve.
Okay, where are you a reserve officer at?
So, give me a second. I'll give you the name of the village because it got hooked up through the company here that I'm working with. So.
Okay, do you have an ID from that village?
Not with me, no.
Not with you?
No.
So you don't have an ID, you don't have a badge. What's the badge you were displaying earlier?
Sorry?
What's the badge you were displaying earlier?
What do you mean?
Do you have a badge?
Yes.
What was that badge you were displaying earlier?
That's my old Pickaway one.
So you have a Pickaway County badge, but you don't work for them?
It's a previous one from there, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You have that with you currently?
Yeah, it's a flex badge.
Can I see that, please?
Yeah.
Williams worked as a jail officer and had been flashing around what seemed to be his old badge, but there's a twist.
All right, real quick. So, this is what he was displaying. It's fake.
That's cool. Well, maybe that's
he is armed.
Okay.
He's fully armed, acting as a police officer. He has a vest on that says police. All right. Now, he says that he works for Pickaway County Sheriff's Office, but he no longer works for them. And I said, well, let me see that badge you were displaying. He said, well, and I said, no, let me see the badge you were just displaying when I pulled up. Because he was showing it to Jeff Hart. So, this is what I took off of him. I said, so who do you work for now? And he says, well, I work for a village. I said, well, let me see your ID for them and our badge. He said, well, I don't have any. I said, who? Who does he work for? Well, he finally gave it to me because he had to call his boss, who is the owner, who, they're all related from the military. They're all in the same military unit together, who is a either retired or off-duty Cleveland police officer who started this.
Yeah, but my question is he a police officer?
Well,
the badge was fake, which means he was clearly not telling these cops the truth.
We'll get it taken care of. It's no big deal. I come out here, I was told, hey, you can start, make some money. That's all I was trying to do. Please do not, I'm asking you for courtesy, man to man. Please do not ruin my career. Please, please, please.
I think you did that kind of on your own, Casey.
Please.
All right. The Pickaway County, you knew you didn't work for Pickaway County. You displayed that badge. All right. You're out here acting in a law enforcement capacity, displaying a badge that you have no right to have, or a facsimile of a badge. That's not even a real badge. You were aware of that.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not real.
Okay. So, all right, you're going to be charged.
Oh, seriously?
I'm serious. Okay. Now we're going to be nice about this. Okay. And we're going to take you over, and you can take your gun belt off, and you can set it on the hood of that car, okay? And we're going to take you in. We don't have to handcuff you. This officer is going to pat you down, all right? And we'll let you out, all right, on a summons, all right? Now,
are we too far for me to?
We're
Listen,
okay.
It's completely deceptive.
Here's the problem. You don't understand that right now we can charge you for improperly handling in a vehicle. I can charge you for impersonating a police officer. All right, there's tons of charges.
What are you charging me?
Here, well, probably the impersonation of a police officer.
So the best thing to do right now is to just take off the belt.
And I'm
all right, so let's step over here and take care of that first.
Smith, right here. All right. Take off the belt, and then I'm going to switch.
Williams got arrested and charged for impersonating a police officer and improperly handling a weapon in a vehicle. He was sent to a correctional facility and was released after his second court date. Next up, we have Brian Noval. He was 25 at the time and was in court for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and also domestic violence. This is how Brian treated the judge.
Court's also going to revoke his bond on 098502 CF10. You're going to be held no bond, sir, until further order of the court. Thank you.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding you. That's the truth. You're not going anywhere. That's the truth. All right, thanks. All right, Suzanne Walt.
My charge was battery.
Oh, wow, I know, man. But that's the way life is. What did he say? Whoa. Bring him back. Whoa. Hey, bring that guy back.
You want him back, Joe?
Yeah, I want him back right now. That wasn't good, but So what did you just say when you walked away?
I called you a because you're...
Did you?
The charges I had yesterday.
Okay, hold on a second, sir.
Battery charge.
Sir, this court is inclined to hold you in contempt of court, and I want to know from you, give me a reason why I should not hold you in contempt of court.
I don't see a reason why you shouldn't be, because there's not a reason this should be here.
Okay, sir, I find you in contempt of court for using that type of language with the court you just used, and before I pass sentence on you, I'm going to ask you if you have anything to say before I pass sentence.
Brian then had a moment to speak to the judge, and here is what he had to say.
I apologize, I was out of line. I'm just upset because this is not what I was charged with yesterday.
Okay,
I
sir.
was charged with a battery.
I accept your apology, and I will sentence you to 60 days in the Broward County Jail. Thank you.
Can I take the back in?
All right, sir, hold it. Come on back. Come on back, sir. Sir, I'm inclined to hold you in contempt of court again. Would you like to tell me why I should not hold you in contempt of court for the last thing you just said?
I asked if you're allowed to do that for me.
All right, I find you in contempt of court for the second time you said that. Do you have anything else you'd like to say in mitigation of the second sentence I'm about to hand down?
I was just asking my attorney if he can do that.
All right, sir, you have nothing. I'm going to send you to another 60 days to run consecutive to the prior 60 days. So now you're up to 120 days in the Broward County Jail. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Nah.
All right, sir, thank you very much. You're done.
I didn't even know you can do that.
All right, thank you. All right, I think you should move along.
I bet he didn't talk back to anyone after experiencing that. We now have 27-year-old Tobias Rahman. Tobias is appearing in court for threatening to kill a woman with a knife after attempting to rob her. The judge had asked Tobias to stand up, which he absolutely refused to do. This came with consequences.
Roman, stand up.
My foot hurts. I can't stand up right now. Stand up right here. Give it.
Stand up, Roman.
Harass what?
This is BF 140416. Mr. Roman, what is your true and correct name?
Tobias, my first name. That's it. Giggles or Tobias. That's it. Don't call me nothing else.
Samson Roman is present in the courthouse. Is Yasmin Medina present? She is not. At this time, I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Roman. The charges, Mr. Roman, are attempted robbery, second degree. Mr. Roman, you need to be quiet.
Yeah, you need to be quiet.
You got one more chance, and then you're going to be removed from the courtroom. That'll be your choice.
Go ahead.
But this didn't stop Tobias from speaking back even more. Take a look.
You need to
see. I'll murder you when I see you.
I'd like to note for the record, Mr. Roman's statement on the record that he will murder me if he sees me, and I'm going to request law enforcement take the appropriate action. He's charged with threatening with the intent to terrorize, exhibiting a deadly weapon other than a firearm, and stalking. He's chosen to remove himself and voluntarily absent himself from the court proceedings in light of his behavior. Would you like to make a record?
Tobias had to face more charges for the threat that he made to the judge. Pretty ironic. We're in Jackson County, Michigan, where 31-year-old Camilla Gamut is being charged with murdering her boyfriend. Gamut claims self-defense, and when the verdict comes back, she stands her ground.
Is there anything that you want to tell the court before I impose sentence? Is there anything you want to tell the victim's family who are here today?
I just want to say that I stick by the truth, which is that I did react in self-defense. I did love Marcel, and basically at trial, the way I was portrayed, mostly everything was lies. There was a little bit of truth, but mostly I was convicted off of lies, and I do plan to appeal it, and that's all I have to say.
Anything you want to tell the court about the 12 stab wounds that you did in self-defense?
The alleged 12 stab wounds?
Well, I don't think the pathologist lied about those.
No, I don't have anything further to say.
Before the sentencing, the victim's aunt has a few words for the judge, and what Camilla does next is unbelievable.
You did leave a big hole in our hearts and a void that will never be filled. You took the life of our sister's only child. You took a bloodline out of our family, and we hope that each and every day that you remember the cries of help that he screamed as you plunged that knife in and out of his body.
The defendant appeared to be unmoved by anything Miss Banks had to say.
So we, the family of Marcel, would like to thank God for the special gift that you will receive today from the judge.
Is that it?
When I finish, I'll let you know.
Oh, okay. Seriously?
Just talk again. I'll have my court officer put a piece of duct tape in your mouth. You understand it? Try it one more time and see what happens to your mouth. You got something else to say?
Even with the threat of the judge, Gamut continues to keep talking.
Oh, yeah, get the duct tape.
I'll sit here and listen to the lies.
You know what? She's got a right to talk to the court after you murdered a relative of hers. And you're gonna shut your mouth or I'm gonna have some duct tape put on it.
Well, he attacked
All right.
me.
We'll wait here for a moment till we can get her quiet. This is one of the worst cold-blooded murders I've seen in a long time. You end up ultimately hit him in the head so hard with a pan that you actually caved in the front of his skull, and then you stabbed him no less than 12 times. You gutted him like a fish in that apartment, too. You were relentless. You stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed until he was dead. I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well. You know, if this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair.
After all this, Gamet continues to laugh. Ultimately, she's sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole. Here, we're in Michigan, where 25-year-old Amanda Casal awaits her case after being charged with driving under the influence and taking the life of another driver. Prior to sentencing, the court will hear a statement from the victim's children.
Look what you did to my life. You ruined everything I had, like my dad's life.
Amanda seems devastated.
Amanda appears to be disgusted at herself, but apparently the judge hears some snickering coming from Casal's family in the audience.
You can go to. Whoever can sit here at a tragic moment like this and laugh and smile when somebody has lost a family member, this is a court of law. You cannot come down to the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice and act any way you want to act.
That's the defendant's mother, Donna Casal.
Because if you don't know how to act, you can go to jail. Ma'am, you are being taken into custody for criminal contempt. Your disruptive and disrespectful behavior disrupted today's proceedings, and you, ma'am, are going to the Wayne County Jail for 93 days for direct criminal contempt. Anybody else want to go? Try it.
Lesson learned. Do not laugh in the courtroom. Next, we head on over to Ohio, where Ebony Burks is being charged for misdemeanor assault and domestic violence against her grandfather.
What? Whoa. Get back! Get back! Get back!
The judge sets bond for the two charges at $15,000. The only rule is that Burks cannot be in contact with the victim.
Good morning, Miss Burks.
Good morning.
After reading the charges, the judge asked Burks how she'd like to plead.
You have 3 pleas available to you today. Guilty, not guilty, and no contest. What plea would you enter?
I'm not guilty.
Ebony Burks does not like the idea of not being able to enter her own home, and what she does next will surprise you.
No contact means you can't call him, you can't write him, you can't text him, you can't email him, can't leave a message on some social media, you can't go visit him. If you go someplace, even though you may have arrived first and one of them shows up, you have to leave.
So you gonna tell me I can't go home?
I'm telling you, you can't go home. If you live with Mr. McCrae, you cannot return to that residence.
Oh, but how you just gonna tell me I can't go home?
What?
How you gonna tell me I can't go to my home?
I just did.
And just as we thought Burks had given up.
Well, I bet I do.
Well, then you're in contempt, young lady, and you've got 30 days. So you're not going to... You're not... What?
Whoa.
Get back! Get back! Get back! That's another 30 days. That's 60 days.
So what?
90 days.
So?
120 days.
Okay, and?
180 days.
Oh! He's quiet. Get off me. Get your hands off me, man. What else you got to say?
Hold on. She's coming back.
Nothing. We'll talk in 6 months when you're ready to come back for your case.
I ain't got money.
That's 200 days. You got anything else to say, Miss Burks?
You.
That's 300 days.
Although she racked up 300 days, she only ended up being sentenced to 88 days. According to the judge, it's the longest sentence he's ever served for contempt of court. We now head over to Miami, Florida, where Sherry Lynn is charged with a felony battery as well as resisting arrest with violence. And right off the bat, well, you won't believe what she says.
And from the very first question,
have you ever been treated for any mental health issues?
Why don't you yourself first?
It's clear Lynn is in no mood to be in court.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
I said go yourself.
Okay, well, I'm a little busy right now.
The judge initially finds Sherry's behavior funny, but she doesn't let it continue.
Ma'am, I'm just trying to help you.
Ma'am, he's trying to help you, and please don't use profanity or try and disrupt my courtroom, because I don't want to be forced to hold you in contempt of court. All right, Mr. Snyder's trying to help you. And I'm ordering that you stay away from Cynthia Cuba. Do not have any contact with her, and you must stay away from her home and place of business. As to the other case... Who is this Cynthia Cuba? Tell me! You allegedly tried to hit with the pliers. The other case... F-50-1426. The bond on is $5,000.
Leave town 2 and 3. Let's just like
It's $5,000 and count 3 is $1,000. Have a nice day, ma'am.
Believe it or not, Lynn is sentenced to a $50 fine and to undergo psychiatric evaluation. I really hope she gets the help she needs. And now we're in Kentucky, where 42-year-old Shannon Fox is charged with violating conditions of her probation. At the podium, she makes it clear that she is being represented by an important figure.
And who's representing you today?
I'm represented by Jesus Christ.
That's right. Now, a savior he may be, but one thing he is not is a licensed member of the Kentucky State Bar. So the judge offers up the services of the public defender's office instead.
All right, so I'm going to appoint Mr. Findale to represent you
I don't want
today.
Mr. Findale. I have that right, Your Honor. And Jesus is going to represent through me. I do not want legal counsel.
Okay, all right. So what do you want to say?
I want to say that I have lived hard, loved hard, played hard, but I've been saved and applied the blood. I'm pardoned through Jesus Christ, okay? I have stumbled and I have failed many times, and mercy's rained from that bench. Not because I deserved it, but because I'm sure somebody prayed. Okay, I wanted to taste salvation and play over here too. I was riding the fence between me and you. God gave me a choice, and it's life or death. I kid you not. Do I look like the person that stood before you in August? Do I? I'm humble. I'm in a walk of shame.
The judge is absolutely appalled as the lady goes on, refusing to get any legal representative on her case.
Off of the courtroom sermon.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Allegation is you failed to report to probation and parole.
Okay, sir. I have nothing in this world.
All I need is an answer.
No.
Did you go? Okay.
I went to probation, yes, I did. But the next 2 times I didn't have no right.
In addition to not reporting to her probation officer as scheduled, Fox Hamlin has another violation.
On December the 9th, 2016, you were given a drug test and you were positive for methamphetamine, and that was confirmed by a lab.
Saved by the blood.
Okay, yes or no? Do you acknowledge that?
I acknowledge I'm saved by the blood.
Saved by the blood or exposed by the blood test?
I don't use drugs, Your Honor. I do not use it.
You've already told me that, but back on December of 2016.
His paper says so, but I will not admit it. He said I could...
Are you denying the allegations in this motion?
Yes.
The probation officer is then called in to offer testimony.
Back in December, did she test positive for drug use? She didn't.
He's not telling the whole truth, Your Honor.
Okay.
You expect me to, he needs to too.
All right, let me tell you something now. You can ask him a question.
Okay, have I not been in contact? When you called me and said the drug test came back methamphetamine, tell the truth, Sharon, what did I say?
I did not call you.
Brian Diggs, you are a liar in the court of Winsburg. I promise you, Jesus is watching.
Okay, let me tell you something. I have to go by what the test says.
He is lying,
And
sir.
The
His test wasn't right.
What I'm telling you is, I have to go by what the lab says.
Can I make
Doesn't have anything to do with what he said.
Between me and you.
Okay.
Prison is to reform me, right? To make me a good person for society. Is that
and to
correct?
keep you from breaking the law.
Okay. Well, do you believe that the blood applied by Jesus Christ can do more reform for me than Pee Wee Valley? Do you believe it can happen in 1 day, 1 minute, or 1 hour?
Well,
Sir, I'm sentenced to death. I'm going to die.
As the Karen continues ranting, the judge orders her to be escorted out of the room.
The judge asks the bailiff to escort her out and revokes her bond.
Mr. Engel, can you take her for me, please? Motion is sustained.
Thank you.
Sir, I have the right to speak, okay?
And you have the right to speak.
I'm going to speak, please. No, I'm going to speak to the judge. No, I'm going to speak to you right now. My life is at stake. I'll die in prison.
Come on, yeah.
I have the right to. I won't go.
Luckily, the officers were able to contain her as she was taken back behind bars. She now serves 8 years in prison with contempt of court and assault added to her charges. Here, we're now in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where Tyra Van Zandt is facing a long list of charges. She is charged with grand theft, resisting arrest, and many more, but as the judge begins to sentence her, she's already pleading to a higher court.
Case to a higher court.
Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. In Jesus' name, say, ask him to stop reading, please. Please let me be released from this jail, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Unfortunately for Van Zandt, the ultimate judge is not presiding over this hearing. Instead, it's Judge Hurley, who seems caught off guard by the defendant's prayers.
Please let me be released from this jail, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Before Judge Hurley dives into Van Zandt's charges, questions about her professional life take center stage.
Are you employed when you're not in jail?
Yes, sir.
What type of work is it? Oh.
I work at Pure Platinum.
After hearing this, the tone of the hearing begins to sour.
Wow. They had to tase the defendant to bring her down. She wouldn't stop.
A closer look at Van Zant's recent criminal history also reveals this isn't her first time facing very serious charges.
You've been arrested 8 times in the matter of a couple of years. I don't know, it's like every time you go out your front door, you know, you're getting arrested. So she gets arrested, you said in June? She got arrested in June for obstruction, for cannabis and cocaine, and now she has to get tasered in and she wants me to let her out and have a second chance. Huh, interesting.
Please, I'm asking you for a second chance, sir. Please, so I can get my life together.
I wonder what you told the judge after the first, the second, the third arrest, the fourth arrest, the fifth.
Please, listen, I'm in a Christian unit program here, sir, and I've come to found God, and I'm really changing my life, and I just want a chance to be able to go to a rehab, sir.
Right.
Please have mercy on me, Judge.
After a short pause, the judge makes his hearing.
Ma'am, I'm going to let you stay in right now. I think that's the safest place for you. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Tyra was then sent to jail for 180 days as well as 3 years probation. We have a woman that people call Corner Store Caroline.
No, I want the cops here right now. No, I'll talk to you. I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to stay right here. White lady calls the cops on a black lady. I get it. Yeah, they're videotaped. She's mentally ill. That's right. The son grabbed my here. She said and she decided to yell at me. Here. So I'm gonna stay right here. Security camera.
Let me go. Don't stay nowhere. Hold on. Let's make it go viral. Go home. No. Let me go. No, not her. No. Come on. She's calling police on a black woman because of she needs to go home. Corner Store Carolyn. That's what that is. Don't cry, little man. Don't cry, little man. Because she's calling the cop. That's Corner Store Carolyn. You got a new one. Corner Store. Make her go viral. She's nasty. Make her go viral. Make her go viral. You're calling police. Can't bust her ass. Go home! Let me go home. You he said that little boy touched the she's nasty. Because a little kid brushed up against her and touched her on her butt. She's calling police.
Goodbye, 911 operator. Now, why don't you upload that to World Star?
Go away. What is your problem?
Who are you?
I'm calling you out. You seriously just call the police on a child?
On a police officer.
Go away.
No, white lady, I will not.
Okay, white lady. Look, why y'all look? Don't even get involved no more. Don't even get involved no more, miss.
Oh, honey, you
Tell
don't
you,
know.
you're shameful.
You cannot shame me. You are a child. You are young enough to be my daughter.
Oh, you're right.
When you're 53 years old,
if you were my mother,
you would do what? One white girl to another. Yeah, make the point.
That's what she wants.
The entire audience.
She wants the attention. She wants the attention.
It's New York.
You're being a
go home.
No, you ain't gotta tell her. Don't jump in her face. Don't jump in her face.
Isn't that what you said? Go home.
Listen, now you antagonizing.
You are antagonizing her now. You are antagonizing her
now.
Here is physical proof that the child's bag is the only thing that probably grazed past her. And then this is what she had to say after she had charges against her.
I was standing at the counter. Maybe I could sit down with the young lady who got in my face. Maybe we could do an interview together.
Now we have a woman who was responsible for the death of 3 people after driving under the influence. This is what the judge said to her after she made a Karen-like comment.
This is a very serious case. Yes, ma'am, your life is ruined. But you also ruined a lot of lives and ended 3 lives.
And now for one of the victim's fathers took to the stand to share a few words with the defendant.
You've taken everything from us. You can't give it back. And nor will you ever give it back. I can't forgive you. There is no forgiveness for this. I can't do this anymore. I need to end.
Absolutely.
Sorry. Thank you.
But there was another car involved in the crash, that of Tracy Kelly. Here's what she shared with the defendant.
I wake up several times at night from pain, but also from nightmares. My nightmares include being left at the scene, abandoned at the scene, screaming for help when you weren't there.
Knowing that she has now lost her life and that she will spend her days in pain, just her not being happy every day brings joy to me.
The woman ended up getting 50 years in prison. Next up, we have a woman from Plano who was being racist to 4 Indian women.
Go back to India. Go back to India. Why? We don't want you here. We don't want to hang out with you. We don't want you here. If you're so great in your country, then stay there. Don't with me. We were not talking to you. You came here. Get lost. Oh, come closer. Come closer. Oh my God, guys, record. She's hitting me. She's hitting me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, she's hitting me. She's hitting me. I'm gonna call the cops.
She is just accusing us. She's making racist slurs. She came to hit my friend, and she's coming back to me right now. She's standing in front of me. We have it all on video. We are 4 of us. Yeah, and she threatened us with. Okay. She's a white woman wearing a black dress.
No, I'm not white. I'm Mexican. I'm Mexican, and I paid my way here. Oh my God, she's hitting my friend now. I am not hitting your friend. You guys are all about.
I don't know, but she just hit my hand. She tried to hit my phone away.
I'm gonna video y'all.
I'm at the 69 parking lot.
Oh, here.
Can you please send some help?
Oh, these Indians, they come to America because they want a better life.
Yes,
but they're obviously not living the great life in India.
No, she has a bag, but I'm scared.
Did we even talk to you? Why did you walk up to us to talk to you?
Yes. I hate you Indians, that's why. Did you guys come to our country? If you are Mexican, why don't you go back to Mexico? I'm a Mexican American. I was born here.
That we are not
Were you born here? What makes you think that because of the way you speak? Because I'm a Mexican American, but I speak English.
If the 4 of us were talking, why would you come and talk to us and we have to
Now she's hitting the third person. I'm not going to talk to you when you have your camera on. If you want to turn your camera off, I'm happy to talk. Please, I'm trying to be civil here. Yes. If life is so great in India, why the fuck are y'all here?
I mean, naturalized citizen here.
You're a naturalized citizen. You're not a born and raised citizen. Don't engage. But why are you here?
Don't engage. I'm not going to talk to you because you are not my friend. You're a stranger, and you have no right to come and talk to us.
No, you're right. You know what, ma'am? You're right. Ma'am, I am sorry. Ma'am, I am sorry.
We'll do that.
You know what?
We'll do that.
I'm not. Okay, well, peace. I'm trying to reach out. Peace. I overstepped my bounds, and I'm sorry.
She's suddenly apologizing and saying peace. I don't know what that means, but
please have them come here because we are not feeling safe here.
We don't feel safe right now.
What? Well, I'm not gonna hurt you guys. Look at me. I'm all of 100 pounds, and you guys weigh well over 200 pounds.
And now she's walking away.
Stop videoing me. I swear to God, I will break your camera. Stop! I'm walking away. I'm leaving y'all alone. Turn the cameras off. You too. Turn that camera off. Oh my God, now she's going to the third friend.
Are you with them? Yeah. She's coming back. Stop, woman! And she's reaching.
Oh my God, please come.
Please get here quickly.
Don't engage.
The cops showed up and arrested her, and she is now awaiting her charges. Coming up, we have Francie Neely. She claims she's in the right in the situation where her dog bit a child.
Invading my private. Look.
All right, good. Got it. Child is crying here because of you. It's going on social media. Go ahead. You want to smile for the camera? Let's smile. Pull out your phone. You want to record me? I'm recording you. Pull out your phone. Pull out your phone. Record me.
Shame on you.
Record me. Shame on you.
Now why don't you go tell them that?
Shame.
Go ahead and tell them that. Go ahead and tell them that.
Shame on you. You brought your dog here to bite my child. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Did you just say I brought
Yes, you
my
did.
dog to
Your
bite-
dog came around my child. You did not even come to take the dog away from my child.
Ma'am, you know that's a lie.
You brought
She
your
just
dog
said
around
I
here.
brought my dog to bite. No, she's
Mhm.
crazy. She is crazy.
You're crazy. See? Good. You just hit me, right? You just hit me, right? You just hit me.
And I have that on camera too. Thank you.
God.
Yeah, bye.
Crazy.
Shame on you.
Here's my biting dog.
Shame on you. Go. You want your biting dog. Go. Go inside your house. Go inside your house. You coming to talk to me? You want to come and talk to me? Pull out your phone. You want to record me? You brought your dog around my child. Let me tell you something. Are you a mother? You
Yes,
have
sir.
children? All right. Well, then you need to have some respect for my child. You brought a dog I don't know around my child.
You think
you brought this? I don't care. I don't know your dog.
Don't do the innocent thing.
I don't know your dog.
Here's the dog. Here's the big biter.
You're
Here's the bug.
Excuse me. You're invading my private. Look.
All right. Good. Got it. What's your name?
I'm gonna get the license. Yeah, get the license plate.
Look at what you're doing. Look at what
you're doing. Okay.
And you have brought these people who are crazy.
Victim. And you hit my phone twice. There you go. Go ahead.
Moving the stuff
Uh-huh.
off of this.
That's
No,
fine.
it's not your property.
This is my property.
Yes, and I am moving your
Yeah.
property.
We will move. Don't worry. We'll move it back. We'll move it back.
You're racist. You are racist. Shame on you. Shame on you. You're racist. Racist. Shame on you.
You didn't tell them that.
Shame. Bye.
Call the cops.
Go right ahead.
Do it right now. All right.
Francie issued a comment after the incident, and the family spoke up too.
I don't think any mother alive would feel good about someone charging towards their child. I hate the fact that when I look at those photos, that's what I have to remember.
The next Karen clearly has some big issues.
If the law didn't say that I couldn't kill the they'd all be dead. I would kill it, but the law says I can't kill the.
You deserve to die!
War! War, dirty man!
I'll your throat, you ugly stalking.
I would describe it as a nightmare. She will call us, racial slurs. She'll start making threats to kill us. She thinks that we're out to kill her.
Why?
Because they're here again.
Why? Gestapo! They're actors dressed up in cop uniform. Never return. Garbage.
Her issues are certainly with mental health.
Get inside, please. Stop stalking! Stop it right now! I love you. I want them dead!
Those rants cost her job, and she even apologized. Check it out.
African Americans helped build this country, and I hate that I insulted the millions of them. I have lost my job, which I totally would agree on. Please allow me to rekindle the love we shall all share amongst each other. And in a separate post, she writes simply, "Please forgive me."
Next up, we have a couple that blew up on Instagram after Trey Songz exposed them for a racist rant the husband had with an African American woman.
I'm gonna park there every day.
No, you're not. I'm gonna make sure you don't park there.
Oh, you
I
are?
already talked to your landlord. He's gonna take care of it.
He's not gonna do
We're gonna put a sign, street parking on there.
Okay, you can, and guess what? You can do whatever you want.
You know what? That's the way There's Nick. There's a sorry.
See that, guys?
One thing viewers said was that if the husband was so apologetic, why did he not apologize personally instead of her doing it?
Now we're getting death threats, threatening employees, telling they're going to kill us, they're going to shoot us, they're going to blow our business up. We're not racist people. I don't condone using the N-word by any means. And I know I've spoken to John and he's apologetic and wishes it never happened. But I've just deleted our accounts because I don't know what else to do. I'm not racist, and I'm not. Never have been.
Moving on, we now have Jacole Prince. Not too much of a Karen, but she was selfish like one. She locked her daughter in a closet and starved her to death, then decided to blame it on her mental health. But the judge did not have any of it and gave her 34 years in prison. She would have a big fight after that, but it's so clear to see she's guilty.
I had emotions too, and I'm sorry, and I apologize to my children because they had to go through what they had to go through in our household.
7 years on count 3. No.
The judge said he didn't buy the mental health argument.
William of Barrera, Ohio, is sent to trial for criminal damaging, unauthorized use of a vehicle, as well as obstructing justice.
Give me that phone. What's in that phone you don't want us to find?
Nothing. I just didn't see no need for you guys to confiscate my phone and go through it. I mean...
And you play by your rules. You don't want to play by anybody else's rules.
Right off the bat, the judge is already furious with Demopoulos as he refuses to give over his phone to a probation officer.
When the judge hands the phone to a clerk, the defendant starts to retreat.
Come here. Hey. Come here.
No, man. No, man, this is not right, man. I'm telling you, it's not right. This system is so messed up.
Stand there. If you're going to act up, give me an officer. Give me an officer.
Please,
next door.
please.
No.
It doesn't have to be like this.
I'm right now thinking about charging you with resistance.
Please, it doesn't have to be like this, John.
Stand there and stand like a man.
I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Then you're going to go to jail today.
Now, you'd think William here would pull himself together after that threat, but instead, he does something no one saw coming. Next, we head on over to Las Vegas, Nevada, where Joshua Martinez was charged for driving with a suspended license. Seems like a pretty minor case. Well, not for Martinez, who just couldn't accept his fault and continues to try and dig out legal details of the case.
With having a suspended driver's license on April 12th. What is your plea, sir?
Just I have a couple questions before we proceed. I don't understand the nature and cause of the charges.
Well, you're charged with driving on a suspended, canceled, or revoked driver's license.
Is there a sworn statement against me or injured party?
I believe you probably received a citation on April 12th. That would be the criminal complaint filed against you.
Okay, and is there a injured party or damage to property here against
It's charge brought by the city of Las Vegas, sir.
Okay, so the city's the victim in the case?
The city is the charging.
So they're the victim. I'm not too sure what's going through Martinez's head to make him think that talking back to the judge is a good idea, but it gets even more intense.
What is your plea on
if the city is the
Mr. Martinez,
if they are the
today
victim,
Mr.
I would like
Martinez,
to
I am in
move
charge
this
of
to
this
a federal
courtroom, and
court.
you're going to stop
No,
it.
we are in charge of the courtroom.
Would you show Mr. Martinez the inside of our holding tank, please? You're not going to tell me who's in charge of my courtroom, Mr. Martinez. Go ahead and go with the marshal. That is direct contempt of court.
You are in contempt.
After spending 20 minutes in the holding cell, Martinez returns to receive his final hearing.
Mr. Martinez, since you have informed me that I am in contempt of court and that you are in fact in charge of this courtroom, I'm going to go ahead and sentence you today to direct contempt of court. I will give you an opportunity to apologize if you choose to do so and behave in a manner that I consider appropriate for a courtroom. Would you like to do that today, Mr. Martinez?
What would I be
It is a
apologizing?
yes or a no question.
What would I be apologizing
For
for?
your direct contempt of court, sir.
All I was asking was legal questions, ma'am.
I disagree, sir. I'm going to ask you the question one more time. Did you wish to apologize and proceed in a manner I consider appropriate in this courtroom or not? Okay. Direct contempt. I'm going to sentence him to 15 days in jail. Okay, thank you.
The Sixth Amendment grants me that.
Sir, I would suggest you stop speaking now.
Up next, we have another courtroom male Karen located in Racine, Wisconsin, who was convicted of 16 charges against his own family members, as well as reckless endangerment. Riker definitely was not having it as he showed up to the courtroom with this to say.
Your idea, man? Huh? You got me looking like a clown? Stupid punk. Merrick. You! Here we go! Yeah! You! Yeah! I'm killing all you Wayne. I got your address, Wayne Merrick. I got your home address. I got address. I got address. And I'm having you all.
It looks like Sean went straight at it with no time to waste. Attacking the judge and screaming at the top of his lungs, he had the entire courtroom in silence and utter disbelief.
What are you gonna do about it either? You know why? Because this is a state that doesn't have the death penalty. You're gonna sentence me to life? Don't give a Don't give a I'm getting mine, you
Not only does he come after the judge as best as he can, but Riker then directs his evil wrath towards the prosecutor.
You this that punk.
Mr. Riker, are you...
What the do you want?
Take him out.
Later.
After all this screaming, Riker was sentenced to 200 years behind bars, if, of course, he lives that long. In Wichita, Kansas now, we have Michael Gates. Gates is in court convicted of battery against a law enforcement officer. Well, Michael really didn't think he did anything wrong here and continues to act like a Karen towards the judge.
All the evidence shows that you deliberately...
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I know
the words were that you deliberately were hawking up...
I didn't hawk up no saliva, okay? That's and you're gonna believe those lies. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't hawk up no saliva. You gonna believe a lie because they wearing uniform.
This judge clearly isn't taking the language and decides to bring in some order to the proceedings.
It's like evening. You ain't gotta scream at me. You gonna raise your voice at me?
Oh my God.
Gates does not appear to be backing down from the judge, but wait until you hear what he has in store for Assistant DA O'Connor.
You raise your voice to me, I raise my voice to you. You just in a row.
Judge, I appreciate Mr. Gaines making my point for me.
You punk.
Very well received.
Maggot mother.
And I don't think I have to take insults from
I know. You. He's
a tough guy now. But I think
you'll be a after I get sentenced, punk.
I think Mr. Gaines is forfeited to me.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. You punk.
I'm talking.
You.
Take out of the courtroom.
He's a maggot.
You're a tough guy.
He's a maggot, punk. You should have. He's a baby. Maggot.
Anytime, Mr. Gaines.
Shut up, punk. He's a maggot. Should have died. He's a baby. Stillborn.
After this incident, the judge decided to extend Gates' sentence from 10 to 13 years. Now that was a quick 3 years. Next, we head down to my home, Australia, where Daniel Nicholson, 35-year-old father of 4, had been out on bail after receiving a sentence for firearm charges in South Australia, Adelaide. It looks like Daniel was about done with his time in the legal system because what he does is unbelievable.
I revoke you, guys. No, you can stop. Take a seat.
Miss, please, miss.
Please, miss. I'll show you what please, miss is.
Nicholson picks up on the cues and realizes he's probably going to be sent to prison, so he takes a dangerous move in an attempt to bail himself out of the situation.
Don't do anything silly.
Nicholson pleaded guilty after putting on this show and stated he was under the influence of meth and had a freak out. He claims that he wasn't being himself. And well, this just got the man in even more trouble. He was sentenced to 21 months in prison with parole eligibility after 1 year. Now, we head over to Orlando, Florida. Dale Roy Greenman is in court after being put on bond for theft charges. He was accused of stealing a pack of cigarettes, a lighter, and a Gatorade from a 7-Eleven. He's charged with petty theft and has a $250 bond, and it doesn't look like Greenman was happy with his charges.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Hello, Your Honor.
State your name.
Mr. Green.
Can you tell me your name?
Green Man.
The court hearing appears to begin rather calmly, but as things go on, we see the real Karen come out of Dale.
So, Mr. Greenman, you have prior history out of state, and so the state may enhance this offense to a felony based on your prior. So I can't do anything with your case today. I am gonna appoint the public defender for you.
That's horse. You do whatever the you want.
Excuse me?
My name is Mr. Green Man. I'm the federal witness of the United States federal government. I demand some respect, you. Let's get a jam round along y'all did and figure out what you're doing.
All right, he can be removed once y'all get him out.
Now.
Greenman goes off on that judge, and the rest is history. He faced a $1,000 bond and was released on good behavior not so long after. Thanks for watching, we'll see you later.